Hey, sweetmeat. Hey, hey, hey. I'm sorry I sound a little raspy. I've had some chest stuff going on. I finished my last antibiotics this morning. So, hey, Lightning Viper, good to see you. I am staying safe. I hope you are as well. Shannon said you were just there and visiting. So, that sounds like it was a good time. I am very, what's the word for it? I'm very restless tonight. And I tried to look and see if anyone was live, but sometimes I don't see it. So if anyone else is live and I'm going live over top of them, I am so sorry. Just let me know and I'll be done here and go to the other live. Shannon Smitty, I have not seen you in forever. It's so good to see you. That is a name I have not seen in a very long time. I hope you're well. I don't feel bad. That's the amazing thing. I didn't even know I had a chest infection. So when they told me that I did, that they could see it on imaging and stuff, I was like, really? And they were like, really? And you need to take antibiotics. So, Lacey, hello. Look how wonderful everyone's showing up in here. So my assumption was probably right. No one else is probably live because, look at all the people showing up in here that I haven't seen in forever. Maybe one day I can join you on a super duper rummage adventure. Maybe. Um, it, I don't know. It could be fun. Hi, Daniel. Hello, everyone. So yeah, I didn't even know I was sick, and then they gave me the antibiotics to start taking so that I could get ready for surgery. I have to have some skin cancer removed, and they want to put me under to do it. But the thing is, I feel like taking the antibiotics made me sicker than I felt. I didn't even know I was sick. So yeah. At any rate, I'm feeling restless. Um, I've seen that other people have been live, but I've missed it. And so I have just been super duper in my own head, which I hate. Leave me alone with myself too long, and bad things are going to happen. So, and Luke's watching something tonight that I'm not interested in. So he's doing that. And I was sitting here thinking, you know what? I think I'll go check in online and see how everyone's doing. What is a super duper rummage adventure at any rate, Lightning Viper? Um, it sounds like it'd be super duper rummage. Let's see, that would be like going through things, maybe antiquing or goodwilling or something like that, buying storage units and going through them. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, those are all things I like. I like adventures. Um, so yeah, maybe. But I've like I said, you leave me alone with myself too long, and I just start thinking too much. And I have been thinking about some stuff that has just really got me. Uh, I don't know. I'm in a place where I'm so curious about things, um, but it's probably for the best that I don't get involved with the people who could give me the answers that I need, because I don't think those people are really interested in giving people the answers that they need. I think they're interested in forwarding their agenda, and I don't want to be anyone's um, agenda forwarder. Hey, Comp, great to see you. Have you been restless and bored as well? No one has been, well, I can't say no one has been live. People have been live. I just have not been awake and around and all of that. Hold on one second. I need to blow my nose. And I know you didn't know what I needed to do, but I just want you to know I'm not being rude. I'm actually being very nice to you by muting before I blow my nose. All right. Thank you for waiting for me. Hey, Jeff, you've been live and I've missed it, and I think I should blame you for that. Yes, honk honk. It was actually a honk honk. I don't know when I got the old people nose blow, but when we were in school, we used to laugh at how when a teacher or someone older would blow their nose, it would honk, and now I honk when I blow my nose. So apparently, um, I can put that on my resume if I ever decide I want to be a teacher. So, how is everyone? Jeff has been going live purposely when he knows I won't be around. I'm really upset by that. He does all these things to try and exclude me, and I feel the pain for it. I suffer, and he should be publicly shamed and humiliated. I think anyway. I'm going to go ahead and copy this link here. I'm going to try and put it in my side chat. And if anyone wants to come up and talk, they can. Let's see if this will work. Hopefully that's there. Let me see if I can pin it. If I can pin it, I know it's been successful. Nope, it wasn't successful. Let me try that again. Sometimes if I put a period after it, it works. So let's see if it worked this time. No, it still did not work. Okay, so let me try one more time. Maybe it'll work this time. I'll put 2 periods after it. No. All right, well, here's what I'm going to have to do. Maybe use it in a loop and make a rap song. Honk, honk. Yeah. Let's see, what else can I do to possibly make this work? Let me try a couple spaces afterwards and hitting that. And there it is. Pin message. It should be there now. I had to do some gymnastics there after putting that link up there. I had to put a period and 3 spaces, and it finally took it. So yeah, if anyone wants to click that and come up and save their typing fingers, they can do that. I'm willing to talk about just about anything. When I'm restless like this, I can have an interest in any topic, just so long as I have someone in my head talking about something besides myself. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Jeff, even though I have not been there for your streams when they were live, I have listened to the 2 that I've missed. I always listen later. I do listen on like 1.5 speed because, God, sometimes you just go on and on and on. I'm just teasing. Not about the part where I listen on 1.5. I do listen on 1.5, but you don't just go on and on and on. I found myself in another part of YouTube. I think it was last night. Yeah, last night, and my gosh, I was so thankful that I have somewhere else to go other than that, because that was a little insane. It reminded me of how I used to be, where I used to go on YouTube. People were doing um, a lot of yelling, a lot of cussing, a lot of blaming people for things without proof. I live such a more civilized YouTube life now. Wage crit in 3, 2, 1. Do you, Kathy? Yeah, I think 1.5 with Jeff is about as fast as I can get without losing track of what's being said. There are some people who speak really slowly. I'm probably one of them on a regular night. Tonight I might be speaking a little more quickly because I haven't been around in a while and I feel like I got to get it all out. I've been restless. But yeah, there are some people who I can comfortably listen to on 2 times speed and not miss out on a thing they've said. Jeff's isn't usually one of them. 1.5 is about good for him. So, yeah, people in New York do talk fast. Yes, they do. So you can probably catch a lot more than I can at a higher speed. Is anyone backstage? No. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss the doorbell. But there are actually a couple people I can listen to on like 2.5. And those are usually people that I don't listen to anymore. I used to listen to them back in my earlier days. And part of the reason why I don't listen to them anymore is because if you catch them live and you have to listen to them in real time, it is painful when you've gotten used to listening to them on like 2.5. Does it, Lil Miss? Okay. When you talk slow, your stutter comes out. I can understand that. Yeah. I heard someone backstage. Let's see who it is. Oh, look who it is. It's the man of the hour.
Oh, hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey. You had to throw it in my face, didn't you? You don't honk.
I don't. I still don't honk. I am a
Okay.
non-honker.
Well, you're doing something right.
Well, I've got a big nose.
I have a tiny nose. Maybe
So
that's
yeah,
why I honk.
that's what it is. It's the air pressure creating reverberation down through your sinuses.
I see. Well, when they fitted me for my mask for my CPAP, my BiPAP, they were going to get me a child size, and I was like,
Oh,
no, this is fine. This is going to work fine. I don't need a child size.
now do
So,
you use the full mask or the nose?
it's it's a full mask, but it's a different full mask than I used to have. I used to have the full mask that was literally like went up and came down by my eyes. So it was from my forehead to my chin.
Oh,
This one now just has the little buds under my nose. So it's just under my nose and around my mouth. I have to
oh,
have the full mask because I do have chronic rhinitis, which is like allergies, sinus problems, all that stuff. So, I sometimes when I'm asleep, I have to breathe through my mouth or I can't breathe at all. So, hey,
uh,
Laura, great to see you.
hello, Lady Scrapper. Yeah, I used the full mask. It was just covered my nose and my chin.
Yeah. Does it go up by your eyes?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of tall. It's near my eyes. It doesn't go over my eyes. Onto, I mean,
No,
I've
it
got these
shouldn't go over your
straps.
eyes. But I was so glad that I've just got the one that goes under my nose now instead of going over my nose because that sucker used to dry my eyes out really bad.
Yeah, yeah. Now I did try just the nose thing, the nose mask or whatever. I did not like it
Mm-mm.
because I'd
If you
open my.
open your mouth, air comes out, right?
There you go. I was just getting ready to say that.
Right.
Sure.
Well, I'm doing pretty well, Laura. I don't know about Conklin. He doesn't honk when he blows his nose, so I don't know if we can trust him really.
Oh, that's right. Are you going back in for the surgery this
Um,
week? Or?
I haven't heard yet. They
Oh,
did send me a notification in my chart thing that said, God, what did it say? I have to do something. I just read it like an hour ago, and now I can't even remember. I don't know. I have to do something. I have to go back in. I must probably to check and make sure the infection's gone. I just finished my antibiotic this morning, so
yep, yep, yep. Don't feel bad. I have to check my phone every morning to see what day it is.
right. Well, I got a good message though, and I can remember it. It said that I had my A1C, down to 7. Good job, it said.
Oh, that's good.
It said my blood panel was all good, my thyroid was all good, my vitamin D level was all good, and my cholesterol was all good. So everything else was really good. And the only thing I guess now that I have to make sure of is that the infection in my lungs is gone before they'll put me under. If if they say again like there's still some reason they can't do it, I'm just going to tell them, listen, I'm not a wuss. Just you don't have to put me to sleep. Just cut it out. It's I can deal with it. Like I've dealt with way worse in my life, okay? And I've
Yeah.
gotten through it because the truth is when you've been through abusive situations, um, you learn how to dissociate. You learn how to do anything for 10 seconds or 20 seconds. As long as they let me know, like, hey, this is going to hurt. I'll tell you when I'm going to start, and it's probably going to burn or hurt or whatever it's going to do for a couple minutes. I can deal with it. Like, I'll just go somewhere else in my head. I'm good at that. It's why I'm still here today.
Well, if they do a local, you probably won't feel a thing. It'll probably be just a little sore later.
Right. I mean, maybe he just thinks because I'm a girl and he's an older doctor, an old school doctor. Maybe he just thinks he doesn't want to hurt the little lady or something. I don't know. But 10 seconds, that's how I got kid number 2.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, I'm really good at dissociation. So if you tell me something's gonna hurt and I know to expect it, and you say, hey, it's normal, you're gonna feel this, it's gonna burn, or it's gonna hurt, or you're gonna cramp up, or whatever it is, I can deal with it. I just don't like surprise pain where I don't have time to go to my happy place.
Yep. I understand that. Well, yeah, I got my test results back like about a month ago. I went in for my checkup, and it was all good. And I had my A1C down to 7.3.
7.3, good job. Well, see,
Yeah.
the last time I did really good, I had mine down to almost normal. I was at like 6.5, I think. So it's not as low as I had it before, but it's still pretty good. So I was still proud because it had gotten back up to 10.
Now, I think I had read too that having a cold or some type of infection will make you have a higher glucose reading.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, an infection can make you have a higher glucose reading.
Yeah, I don't remember if I read that or somebody told me that. If they told me, I probably researched it and confirmed it.
But I was really proud on my cholesterol. My cholesterol has not been high
Mm-hmm.
for quite a while. So it wasn't ever high, but my good cholesterol wasn't high enough. And my bad cholesterol was a little bit higher than I wanted it to be. So when I went in this time, my bad cholesterol was lower than normal. So that was good. And my good cholesterol, the HDL, I had gotten it up into the good range. So I was proud of myself. And I think that's because I've started taking krill oil every night again. And I've been eating avocados, real butter, things like that, olive oil. I don't eat olive oil, but I put it in things. I do eat it, but I mean, I'm not just sitting with the olive oil bottle eating it.
My older brother, he's a health food fanatic. He used to take garlic pills, and we'd be at work, and he'd start sweating, and he smelled like spaghetti.
I would have liked to work next to him.
Yeah, he does. He eats that algae and the protein shakes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I take the krill oil because when I take the fish oil, it does bad things to me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like fish, burping up fish taste. And
No.
some women complain that it gives them a fishy smell. I never noticed that, but I didn't like burping and tasting fish. That's nasty. So
Yeah.
I changed to krill oil. Krill oil does not taste like fish at all, and it doesn't give me any like aftertaste. So I take that. And I did get a higher dose of it the last time I got it. So I think that's why my good cholesterol has gone up. And the good cholesterol, the HDL, is what supposedly acts like a scrubber for your arteries.
Okay.
So you want your LDL to be low, your HDL to be high, and the total combined to be ideally under 200. Mine was like 143. So, and my triglycerides were good too. They were under where they should be. And triglycerides come from things that are bad for you, like junk foods, like chips and cookies and cake and pie and all the stuff I shouldn't have anyway with diabetes, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I look at my results on my chart, and if it's within range, I just let it go. I
Right.
see it's a little high. I'm like, well, maybe next time it'll be a little lower.
Well, and I did see on my chart too that, like I said, I didn't even know that I was sick. I didn't know that I had an infection, but my white blood cell count was a little high. So I guess that's an indicator too that I
Yeah.
had some kind of infection going on.
Well, that's good they caught that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know why they would have to put you to sleep to operate on your hand,
I don't
unless
either.
they. Now, do they have to go deep or anything, or do you
Well,
know?
he said that's what he was saying is that he said, I know that the lesion itself doesn't look like it's that big. He said, but I have to take out a pretty significant portion. And I'm assuming that he means depth and width wise and lengthwise, because he said if he leaves one cell behind, it
Right,
will come back and be worse than it was before.
right, right. Yeah,
So,
I've heard that. Sometimes they have to go deep, but they don't. I guess they don't really know how deep they'll have to go until they get in there. So,
right.
oh well. I guess you'll get a nice nap.
I'm not afraid of and here's the thing, they always, whenever they're taking my blood or anything, I don't know if I look like someone who is sensitive to that kind of stuff, or if I just look like a scared little woman or something. I don't know. Because anytime they even take my blood, they're like, now this might hurt a little. You can look away if you need. I'm like, who do you think you're talking to? I will look right at that needle. It does not bother me. Like blood doesn't bother me, guts doesn't bother me, pain doesn't bother me as long as I know it's coming. And if I can watch you take the blood, I certainly know when it's coming because I can see it coming, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I just come off as one of those uh, nervous Nellies. I know my anxiety does show through, but it's certainly not anxiety about what they're doing to me. It's just a general anxiety. You know,
Oh,
my
now they
legs are
may
always
they may read your chart and see that you do have anxiety,
going. True.
because they ask me all the time too. Now they tell me relax and all that, blah blah blah.
They don't like to dig around under a local. Why is that, little miss? I know you work kind of in the medical field, in hospice and stuff. I know. I don't know what else like you do, but if you can tell me why that is, because I think digging around under a local would be better than digging around under general. Because under general, I'm asleep and can't tell them anything, right?
Yeah, I saw that out in the chat. I didn't know if that was a Doctor Who reference or what with the time quake thing.
I have no idea. None whatsoever. But yeah, I'm not one of those squeamish people. The only thing that ever makes me squeamish are smells. Now, um, like when I decided that I might try to go to medical school when my grandpa offered to send me and pay for it because he went to the school, and he was a doctor. Uh, I thought about taking him up on it, but then he told me, he says, it won't bother you to dissect the human body, right? He's like, you don't mind that stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't mind that stuff. And then I got thinking about it. And I was like, every time we had to dissect something in science, I got sick. But I didn't get sick because of the actual dissection, like seeing the insides and all that. I got sick because of the smell of the formaldehyde. I could not handle that.
Hmm.
So
No,
go ahead.
no, you go.
I was just going to say there's no happy place I can go to where I can get away from a smell like that. It is awful.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
very
like that.
sensitive to smells.
I don't like that. I don't like the smell of formaldehyde. It gives me the willies.
Oh, it just makes me sick
Yeah.
immediately. And I'm sensitive to any smell that is way too strong. Even smells I like, if it's too strong, it makes me sick. I'm just really, uh, my olfactory system cannot handle intense smells. So,
Yeah.
like,
Now, I've always been good under pressure when it comes to emergencies and staying calm and seeing blood and whatnot.
after it's over, do you freak out?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: is I'm very calm in an emergency. I
Yeah.
can do what needs to be done. I'm super duper calm. But after it's over, I usually have a panic attack. And
Hmm.
that's one of the signs of someone who has like CPTSD or PTSD, because you become accustomed to dealing with emergencies and handling business and putting yourself aside for a second, going to that other place. And then once it's over, uh, your body catches up with you and says, okay, now we're going to freak out. So
Hmm.
the doctor doesn't need my input, but what if he does, Lomas? Does need my input. See, you just never know. What if right in the middle of the surgery, he's like, oh, did this tie match these shoes? And I'm not awake to tell him.
I'm not sure what to have for lunch. I'm thinking maybe I should have some crab rangoon. What do you think?
Yeah. What if he needs my input?
I was
I
all
was all
good.
good until I got on the flight to Chicago from London. Up until then, I was calm and in control. Then I became a Karen. Okay, I'd like to hear about this. What happened?
That's a lot of water to fly over.
Right. Is this when you had the emergency on the cruise ship? Okay, yeah, yeah. You were good. Well, you had to be in control and in charge. But as soon as you knew you were going to be back on American soil, where someone else was going to take over the care and all that, I completely understand it. And that is a classic symptom of how someone with especially CPTSD will handle things. Once they know someone else has got it, they're going to be back in a familiar space with familiar people who can take it from there. The body catches back up with you. And all that adrenaline and flight or fight or flight and all that, it all just says, okay, here we come. Everything's good now. We're coming back in. And it just floods your system.
Wow, Spain, London. I'd like
She's
to go to
a real
China.
globetrotter.
She is.
Yep. Cat's Rule is a globetrotter. She's been some places and seen some things.
Nice. Well, I've been to Canada and the Mexican border.
Was this before you needed a passport to do that?
Probably. Yeah, I was probably 13 when I went to Canada.
Yeah, that would have been before. That was the good old days when we could go to Canada and Mexico without a passport, you know?
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, I went with a friend. We went to Thousand Islands, I guess it was called.
is that where the dressing came from?
I don't know. It might be.
If so, I want to go there. I love Thousand Island dressing. And then someone told me that it's really just kind of like ketchup and mayonnaise with a little bit of pickle relish in it. And I'm like, I can make that.
It is. That's McDonald's special sauce too
Yep.
for the Big Mac.
Yep. And here all those years, I was thinking this sauce is special. And I had it right in my refrigerator.
Yeah, you can make it just mayonnaise and ketchup. And like you said, throw a little pickle juice in there if you want.
So simple. My life has boiled down to this now. I could have been having my own Thousand Island. So, Conklin, I want to ask you, you're a man. That's not the question. I know you are. The question is, are you MGTOW?
Am I who?
MGTOW.
What is that? Klingon?
No, let me put it in the chat so that everyone knows what I'm saying. MGTOW, MGTOW. It stands for men going their own way. And I guess it's like an incel, but to like political and social extremes. I was somewhere last night where they were talking, someone who is part of MGTOW was there. And I went up on the panel because I had some serious questions to ask. And I tried to start out very slowly because I didn't want to scare him away. And so I did. I started out slowly and very respectful. And I was getting ready to key up and really, get down into the details. And but then some other argument popped off and people started cussing at each other and yelling and all that and talking over each other. And so then I didn't get the rest of my questions in. So it's men going their own way. They decide that they don't need women, that women are the reason for their entire inability to function financially, socially, in their careers, in life, everything. Women have been the downfall of men, and so they cut women out of their lives. Thank you so much, Shannon. It was great to see you.
No, I'm not like that at all. I'm happy with who I am and what I'm doing, and just I'm comfortable.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it might be nice to be a booty call or something like that. But I spent 34 years of my life being married, and I'm rather enjoying the me time.
Yeah. Did you hear that, ladies? If you need a booty call, we've got RC Arts here. He's on the line, and feel free to call in and let him know that you'd like a booty call.
Yeah, and it's not women per se, it's relationships.
Right.
It's a lot of work to be in a relationship.
The thing that I understand about that is that, listen, if you don't want a relationship that's long term, and you only want to do short term relationships, or you don't want to cohabitate, or you don't want to be financially, paying for someone's life or whatever, fine. We all get to make our own decisions about what we find acceptable and what we desire in a relationship, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how, if a man wants to go his own way and do his own thing and not get married and not cohabitate and not tie his finances up with a woman's and all of that, I don't understand how those decisions have anything to do with taking away my right as a woman to vote or to have a bank account or to get a job. I don't understand that, but that's what these people apparently think. Like, women should not be allowed to vote. We shouldn't be allowed out of the house for jobs. We shouldn't be able to have control over our own bodies, like deciding when to take birth control, why to take birth control, whether or not we can end pregnancies, all of these things. They don't think women should have those rights. But how's that have anything to do with your decisions? Like, if you don't want to be in a relationship with someone long term, that's perfectly acceptable. So if I don't want to carry a baby to term, that sounds pretty logical to me too, because that seems like it'd be a long term relationship. Now, I'm not saying that that's my take on it. Um, I never got the chance to be pregnant, so um, that's a decision that wasn't even in my realm. I think that no matter what, I would have felt so blessed that I would have had the child no matter what. Um, but there are some women who don't see it as a blessing, and that's their right. And there are some women who have medical reasons why they can't carry a baby to term, whether it's for their own safety or for the safety of the child is not my business.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how you can say that you deserve all these rights by taking away other people's rights. That's like, it makes no sense.
It's been my observation that the guys that feel like women shouldn't have rights are the same guys that can't get a date, so they want control over women, so they'll be forced to date them.
That's it exactly. And that was the point I wanted to get to with this guy that I was asking questions of, is to say, what do you think is like the root cause of your fear of women? And I've heard someone say once that the biggest fear or the root fear of men who are in that position is that a woman will laugh at them or reject them. While the biggest fear of those women is that you will kill them. Now, those are not on the same line, right? Being laughed at or rejected, yeah, it hurts the feelings a little. You take a knock to your ego.
I think more than fear, I think it's anger, because women get them and they get around them and they get to know them and they don't want to be with them.
Exactly, because they fear them. So a woman's biggest fear is like, you're so into this stuff, you could kill me, literally.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you don't think I should have rights anyway. So why would you think that I have the right to continue breeding? While these men, their biggest fear is that a woman is going to hurt their feelings or bruise their ego. And I agree with that, Lil Miss. I think that's one of my biggest fears too. Thankfully, I've had the opportunity to get over that fear with Luke, because, there's just no way. I could say a lot of things, but they sound really mean.
We'll see, Mike.
Because I was going to say, you know what? Luke can't handle his own life half the time. So he's not going to take over mine, because most of the time I'm filling in for him with his life,
Well, see, I'm kind of opposite to that I don't fear a woman taking over my life. What I fear is that they wouldn't have a life of their own and not be able to function without me being so involved in them. I want my me time.
Right. And I love that too. I love that Luke and I have, we have a lot of common interests and hobbies and things like that. Because, you have to have things in common. But we also have a lot of things. Like tonight, he's watching something that I am just absolutely not interested in, and he's perfectly fine, and I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone's life being completely dependent on me. That's way too much pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. See, now that's how my first spouse was. She couldn't make any decisions on her own. What do you want for dinner? Oh, I don't know. What do you want? Where do you want to go for vacation? Oh, I don't know. Where do you? No. Tell me what you want.
Right. Luke and I have gone on separate vacations.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. There have been times I've wanted to go somewhere, and for some reason, he wasn't able to go, or he had no interest in going. And it's like, cool, I'll go do my thing. I'll keep in touch, and I'll be back, and everything's wonderful. So yeah, I like that too. I don't like someone who has to be always right on your hip.
I was reading what Kathy said about blaming women for their own inadequacies. I think there's a lot of people in politics that like to take the opportunity to blame other people, people of color, people from different cultures, because of their own failures. Rather than blame themselves, they blame other people.
Exactly. And listen, if you're one of those men who wants a traditional housewife, go for it. Find her. Find the woman of your dreams. That's going to be her choice if that's the life she wants. But you can't go around taking away every woman's right to vote, to make decisions, to have bank accounts, to have their own finances. You can't take away every woman's right just so every woman is under your thumb to be the kind of woman you want them to be.
Yeah. And I've met some women too who think being a bully is the same as being a strong woman. That's not the same thing.
No, not at all.
My mother was a very strong woman. She got divorced, raised 4 children by herself, put herself back through college during that time, plus had a job. She was very strong.
Right. And Lil Miss, here's the funny thing about that. I did a lot of learning and studying about my heritage and where I came from and who I came from and all that. And I know everyone says this and it's become a joke online, but everyone says they're Cherokee. But I literally am. Okay. Like my family, my grandfather and all his brothers and sisters and all, they're all in the Dawes rolls. So I have a number and a card and all of that. So it's legit. I'm not just one of those people who's like, yeah, I'm Cherokee. No, I really was. And so the thing is that in the Cherokee tribes, the women owned everything.
Yep.
Men owned nothing in those tribes. And so growing up, learning about that and learning that the women controlled who could marry who, like if a man was good enough to marry a woman in the tribe, it was the women who were making those decisions and who owned everything. And the women were the ones who could bring divorce and things like that. The men could not. So it's interesting how different. I'm not saying that's right either, where women, have all the rights and men have nothing. Clearly, everyone should have rights. But go ahead.
No, you go. I thought you're finished.
No, I was finished.
Oh, the Iroquois were the same way. The Iroquois, the man married the woman and moved into their longhouse and all that and became part of that family and contributed to the female's family.
Right. There were a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but several that I've heard of where the women were in charge of most major things, financial decisions, the marriage, who could marry into what tribe and things like that. The property was in the women's names once they realized about property and how that worked in the new world, But yeah, so it's interesting that different heritages and different have had different roles for men and women. Yet people always say, that it's always been traditional roles where the women are supposed to stay at home and raise the kids, and the men are supposed to go out and work and make the money and be the head of everything, when there are plenty of examples of things where that wasn't the case. And they did pretty well for themselves because, another thing that I learned about the Cherokees is they were the first ones to have a written language, and they were the first ones to have like a newspaper, like a real way of communication and sharing events and news and all that kind of stuff. So, it sounds to me like those women were doing pretty good for their community or their tribe.
Yeah. Now I have some ancestors on my mother's side that apparently, now I haven't been able to find them on the Dawes records, but my younger brother spoke with the chief or somebody there in the Creek tribe in Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And they're not accepting new memberships or something right now, but we traced some heritage into that tribe. But I mean, what, 5 generations later, it's pretty diluted. Whatever bit of Native American I do have,
Huh.
but the Creeks are Cherokee also.
Are they?
Yes,
Okay.
there's several different tribes that with different names that are part of the Cherokee Nation or whatever, or were.
I did not know that. I may have known that, but I just haven't remembered it. Because I do remember reading a lot about the Creek Nation. So at some point I probably did come across that, but I just don't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Little Miss, I would love to hear as much of your story as you'd be willing to share sometime. I spent a lot of time around the Amish in southwestern Ohio. I always say it backwards. Um, Around the Tranquility area. I don't know if you know where that is or anything, but uh, it always seemed like a really nice group of people to me. But then I also do know, because I've heard you say things, that they're very insular and outsiders don't know a whole lot about it. And of course, um, living around them, they need the regular people um, for rides to places and things like that. So, of course, they're not going to be mean to us. Uh, so, I'd really like to hear your story sometime. I know you've probably shared it on here at other places and with other people. So if you don't feel like sharing it again sometime, please send me in the direction where I can hear that.
Is she from an Amish community?
I believe so, yes. I believe she was born and raised Amish and then she left at some point. I don't know much more than that. My brother went to law school rather than me. In my family, it was something new. They were shocked that I wanted to go. Wow, Kathy. That's interesting.
Oh, I got some more glass. I'll be picking it up tomorrow. I got some Russian glass. It's blown glass, but they incorporate metal into the glass as they're blowing it. It's
Wow.
a nice looking piece. And then I think another one is Polish that I got, and then one more piece of Murano.
Huh. Okay. Oh, you really never talked about it on here? Okay, I thought you had. I'm sorry. But you left the community at 19. So now this may sound dumb, but did you leave them then during Rumspringa? Is that what it's called? That's when the guy that I dated who was Amish, that's when I dated him. And then he did go back, but then they kicked him out because I guess after he went back, he wasn't living the way he was supposed to or something. I don't know. I kind of broke ties with him after that too because he just went a little crazy. And even for someone who hadn't been raised Amish, I could see that he was going a little overboard with cars and guns and just I was like, nah.
Is that the period where they let them go out and, I guess, sow their wild oats or whatever?
Yeah, the way I understand it, and I could be wrong, it's the period where they get to decide then for themselves if they go out into the world where they can see everything that the world is about, the temptations, the way that people live, the technology, they can experience it all, and then come back and actually join the Amish of their own accord.
Right.
You know, where other religions and stuff like the Mormons, I know Luke was like accepted into being Mormon. They said that at 8 years old he was able to make that decision for himself, which I don't necessarily agree with. But this is them letting them reach the age of adulthood and then make their own decision about what they want to do. They asked you about butter making. Do you all go a little crazy when you leave? Yeah, I figured it'd be pretty easy to go a little crazy. And I hung around him for a little while after that, but I felt like he was legit having some sort of mental um, break of some kind. He started drinking a lot. He started doing a lot of drugs. Was very interested in dangerous driving and guns in dangerous ways. Stupid things with guns. You decide if you want to be baptized. Okay.
You know, my children were homeschooled, and I exposed them to as many different religions and whatnot as I could. I assumed that, when they got older, they could make up their own minds about it.
I didn't know you homeschooled.
Yep.
Well, that's very neat to know.
Yeah, it was. People used to say, "Aren't they so secluded?" Hell no. We've got so many organizations and groups and things that we go to and participate in. We don't hardly sit still.
Well, I think that's great that you were so involved in that. Luke was homeschooled. He was homeschooled, though. I think he went to regular school till sixth grade. And then with his disability, it got really bad when he started going through puberty and all the things are growing and doing all that kind of stuff. And so from, I believe, like sixth grade to maybe 10th grade, he was homeschooled. And then as a junior, I think he went back to regular school and then, finished out in regular school. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and well, like Luke, he went to college. He was homeschooled. My daughter was homeschooled. She's in college now.
yeah.
She's she's cheating. She also signed up for online classes for her husband and is taking his courses as well to earn him a degree.
Good. Yeah,
Well,
Luke,
she gets that extra FAFSA money.
Luke ended up getting master's degree. So, yeah, I mean, homeschool doesn't keep you from being able to further your education.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of people who don't take it seriously, and that may, have some effect on, you can't pass the tests and stuff to get in or whatever. But, if it's taken seriously, I wasn't homeschooled, but at a certain point in school, they realized that it was doing me no good to sit in classrooms.
Yeah.
And so I was put on independent study. I still had to go to school, to the building every day, but I didn't go to classes. I pretty much picked up like anything that had to be done for administration reasons, like what the school has to give tests and quizzes. I picked those up at the first part of the week, and I could do them at my own pace. And I go to like the library and stay in there most of the day or whatever. But I basically taught myself after a certain point because putting me in a classroom was I was bored. I always tested well, but I never did homework. Like, never kept a notebook. You know how they make you keep a notebook and you have to turn it in and they grade your notebook?
Yep.
I thought that was the stupidest thing ever, so I would never do it. And they're like, you pass every single test or quiz you get with 100%. Why won't you just do the homework? And I'd be like, why should I? If I pass the test, then I know what I need to know. Why are you wasting my time when I could be learning something else at this point? So they're like, okay, then go learn whatever you want. As long as you do your tests, you pass them and all that stuff. Now I know I was also dealing with coming into bipolar disorder and ADHD and all those things. So I know why I couldn't sit and do things that I had no interest in. And because it felt like a huge waste of my time. And I know that sounds very arrogant. And I'm sure that was very frustrating for teachers who were just trying to do their job. I probably should have showed them more respect, but I didn't. I was young and stupid and arrogant, you know?
I had a similar experience. I would get my school books first of the year, and within the first month, I would have read through everything except for the math. I hated math. And then the rest of the year was just boring to me, so I goofed off.
That is exactly what I did. Give me the books, let me go do my thing, give me the test. I'll show you that I know everything that you need me to know, so you can check your boxes about how well you're educating everyone. And then, aside from that, leave me alone. I'm not going to do a notebook for you. I'm not going to turn in stupid homework that just reiterates that I can show you. Like in math, when they'd be like, you have to show your work or it's wrong. Well, here's the thing, I can't show you my work. All my work was done in my head. Why should I sit here and waste my time putting it all on paper so I can show you how I got the answer? If I got the right answer, leave me alone. you know, and that's how most of my math has always been done. I don't
Yeah.
know how I do it. I just know I see the problem and my head calculates it, whatever it is, and I'm going to give you an answer. I can't tell you how I got that answer.
Yeah, now I got a C when I went to the art classes. I got a C in pottery because they required me to keep a notebook, and when I turned it in, I had like 4 pages in there. I
Hmm.
mean, the rest of my ideas were in my head. I printed out a couple pictures of some things I thought were interesting, and stuck that in there, and that's about all I had. The rest of it was in my head.
So, did they say to you what they said to me? They said, well, we can't grade what's in your head.
Well, they gave me a C.
Exactly. So,
I
they
got
can't
A's.
grade what's in your head.
Yeah, I got A's in the rest of my classes. That class I got a C. Oh well.
Really? So, you only went to school till you were 11 or 12, and when you left, you thought Jewish people and Indians were extinct. Huh. So, I know you've had to have secondary education then. Um, so, how did that work for you? Was it tough for you to like get into college or whatever? Because I know you have to have some kind of degree for what you do, probably, right? My grandpa, who became a doctor, by the way, only had a sixth grade education. And, but back then when he decided to go to school to become a doctor, it was a lot easier to get in. I'm sure he had to take tests and stuff and prove that he knew stuff. And I don't think that only having an education to a certain age makes you dumb in any way, especially in older days, where there wasn't so much technology to know about and stuff. But my grandpa was a very smart man. It just so happened that living through the depression and all that kind of stuff, um, at in sixth grade. Well, actually, it might have been a little bit before sixth grade. At any rate, he was kidnapped, and his brother took him on a train to Chicago and sold him to a farm, and so he never went back to school after that. And that didn't make him dumb. So he was able to pass what tests he needed to pass and prove what he needed to prove, and he became a doctor because of the GI Bill from being in World War II, I believe. And so yeah, it all worked out. So it can work out, right?
Yep.
Right, exactly, Kathy. Yes, there are different kinds of smart. There's like book smart. There's emotionally smart. There is kinesthetically smart. People who are body smart, and I'm not talking like anatomy, but like learning about how the body moves through time and space and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of different kinds of intelligence.
Well,
So
I look at myself and I know a little bit about a lot of different things. And I think that's what helps me is because I do know a little about a lot of different things.
exactly, I do too.
But
I
I know most of all that I know nothing.
exactly. I I do know a lot about a few things,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
know a little about probably 1,000 things
yeah,
because I get bored very easily once I know something. Once I feel like I've like even crocheting. I taught myself to crochet, okay? And so once I did it and I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this." And then I learned a new stitch and I did it and it was good. And then I learned a new stitch and I did it and it was good. Once I get to a certain level where I feel comfortable with it, I get bored with it. If there's nothing new to learn about it, I'm pretty much at the pinnacle of what I intend to do with that skill or that interest.
yeah,
So, and that goes for everything. Like when I start learning something that just interests me, I read something and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. Now I want to know everything about it." Right. And when I feel like I've reached the pinnacle either of what I want to know about it or what I can understand about it, because there are a lot of things that once I get into them, I reach a point where it becomes frustrating because my understanding has reached, it's topped out. And I
yep,
know I'm not going to understand like some math things or physics things or chemistry things. Um, if the payoff isn't worth the amount of effort that I have to put in and it becomes difficult and it's not something that is worth the difficulty, I will quit it. That's just me.
yeah. I've never. I mean, I can tell you square footages of a room and you figure out yardage and how much it will cost to get carpet and tile, how much tile you need. I used to do blueprint estimates and stuff like that. But when it comes to algebra, statistics, I have no use for it.
Right. Oh my God, statistics drove me insane
Oh, I hated it.
when I had to take master's level statistics. I thought I was going to lose my mind. It was definitely pushing the limit of my patience.
Yeah,
I was heading for a breakdown because I'm like, I'm not going into research. So, enough is enough with this. I know that I still needed to have a rudimentary understanding of statistical things and research things and all that. I needed it on that level, but it was never going to be my place uh, to be the one doing that stuff, right? So I didn't need so much of it. And oh my God, I did literally almost break in statistics. It was
yeah.
just,
Now I never did get my bachelor's. I quit. I went to I signed up for one college down the road, Belmont Abbey College,
uh huh,
and like the first day in psychology class, I decided I was going to go into psychology. Well, he spent a half hour telling us how the book lied about the Catholic Church doing exorcisms and on mentally ill people and things like, and and then I had to go to a mandatory Bible study class,
yeah.
and that was just too much for me. And then the nun teaching the Bible study class was putting down all the Baptists, the Methodists, the Lutherans, talking about how wrong they were, and it was horrible.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had wanted to go to Western Carolina, but it's I don't know, it's about 60 miles away, and I would have had to sell this place and move there.
Yeah, a really good teacher, Cassie, can make the difference. I do believe that because there have been classes that I was not interested, but because the teacher was so good, I looked forward to the classes. But statistics, I don't care. You could have given me, uh, you know, Robin Williams, like he was in Patch Adams, teaching me about statistics, and I would have absolutely hated it. I mean, ugh, I can't even think about it. I I did not burn my book because I paid too much money for it. But in all honesty, nothing would have given me more pleasure than to burn my statistics book.
Yeah, my first few days in statistics class at the Belmont Abbey College, I asked the teacher, how to do something, and she laughed at me.
Uh,
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not stupid. You're not explaining this so that we all understand it, because practically everybody in the class was just sitting there scratching their heads.
right. But most people won't admit that they don't understand it. And that's what happens. That's why so many people just get passed through the system, and they don't understand it. But most concepts that are taught using scaffolding. If you don't know the thing you learned before this, the chance of you understanding anything after this is next to none. So if you miss one little thing and you don't get it, you're not going to learn anything from this point on in most topics, especially anything having to do with math or statistics, things like that,
Yeah. Oh, I finished my book.
You finished your book. Were you writing a book or reading a book?
Writing a book.
What book did you write?
I'm waiting for, I got to get the proofs first to make sure I got everything lined up and everything. It's called That Fucking Squirrel.
I need to read this book.
It's about a squirrel that chews a hole in a man's roof and causes all kind of mayhem.
Yeah, I like it. Do they become best friends in the end?
No.
Oh,
I won't spoil the end.
Okay, don't spoil it because I do want to read it.
Yeah, I got to get the proofs to make sure I aligned everything properly.
Are you going to do it on Amazon or what?
No, I did Lulu Books, but they've also put their stuff up on Amazon.
Okay.
They do all that for you.
Well, as soon as you have it all set up and linked and all that, I expect a link.
Yeah, it's only 21 pages. It's kind of designed like a child's book.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you have any illustrations in it?
Yes, I do.
Would I be able to read it to the kids?
You'd have to change some words. I mean, The title is That Fucking Squirrel.
Oh, I forgot. That's such a regular word in my vocabulary. And, when I was editing that in my brain, I skipped right over that part.
Yeah, and the old man in the story uses that phrase quite regularly.
Yeah, I've gone mind blind to the F word. It's just,
Yeah, I was. I think it was yesterday. Jeff was on his channel, and he was talking about one of his friends had wrote another book.
Yeah, Azure. I think I saw
Azure. Yeah, Azure. Yeah.
Yeah, Azure and Dari. They are a couple, and they live in South Africa. They're trying to get back here to America. I can't wait. But yeah, Azure has quite a few books that he's put on there. I think this was his fourth, he said.
Yeah.
See, I do watch the replay. I wasn't there when they were doing it live, but I did watch the replay. So
yeah, that kind of inspired me to get off my ass and finish it.
Well, good. That Fucking Squirrel.
Yes, it's not a novel. It's only 21 pages.
So it's a nice, light, easy read.
Yeah, it's a quick read.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, it's designed like a children's book, but it uses adult language.
Yeah, I like those. It's one that Luke can read me before bed. A novelette. That's right. A novella.
Yeah.
I need to finish my book someday, but you know what I do is I finish them in my head, and then I have no interest in putting it on paper anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I want to read the one about the vampire who has an aversion to blood.
Yeah, that's the one I need to finish.
Yeah.
it's a great story. And like I said, my mistake was that I wanted to lay it out. And of course, I didn't lay it out on paper because we know how we feel about notebooks, right? So I
Yeah.
finished it in my head where I keep all my good work. And and yeah, once I finished it in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a great story. Now I have no interest in putting it on paper.
Well, type it into the computer.
I know, I know. I need to do that. I have a friend who we've been friends since we were, gosh, I think I was 16, she was 17. And every single time we talk, she and her husband just give me hell. They're like, "Have you written any more on that?" And this has been like 10 years since I started this book and started letting them read the chapters. And every time I talk to them, they harass me, and I'm like, "Just get over it. It's never going to get written." So yeah, I want to finish it, but I just can't. I don't know why.
You'll just have to use your imagination to figure out the end.
That's right. I need to find it and actually read the chapters I have, uh, and maybe someone else will finish it, and we can both take credit then.
Well,
We can publish it and be co-writers.
maybe that would inspire you to finish it.
It might. I have it here somewhere in a file, but my files got so messed up when I was moving things around, and I don't remember where I put it, but I will come across it sometime, and maybe I'll read it out. I think I have about the first 8 chapters are completely finished. That's another thing I do. I'm not good about, the best writers will tell you that the thing is just to go in first and get it down. Just write it down. Then you can always go back and tweak things and correct things. I am not like that. I write in final form. Like I correct my mistakes as I go. I stop and I think and I erase and I put it back down. And everyone who's a great writer just says, just keep writing. Don't correct yourself. Don't, whatever. You can go back and do all that later, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm too picky, and that's probably my downfall.
Yeah, that turns it into a chore.
Hey, Evelyn, it's so good to see you. How is your grandbaby? Are you still there, or did you come back home now? And I bet if you're back home now, you are missing that little doll baby. But yeah, I think that's what keeps me from being successful as a lot of things. At a lot of things. First is the perfectionism, that I'm not just one of those go with the flow people who can get it out there and then go back and make it better. That's not my style at all. And secondly, that when things get difficult and I'm not enjoying doing them anymore, I find something else to do. I was never taught to work through something that was difficult because up until a certain age, I didn't get the opportunity to find many things difficult. And I don't say that in a braggy way because I think it was the worst disservice that was ever done to me, is that everything came really easy to me when I was young. Learning was just second nature. I never felt like anything was hard. And so I never got the opportunity to learn how to deal with frustration and how to work through it until I got older.
Yeah, if it's going to be this frustrating, it's just not worth doing.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
Now, when I was driving a truck to keep myself awake, I used to do projects in my head, and I'd get it down to the very last detail. And by the time I got home, I didn't want to do the project anymore because I had already done it.
In your head?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I do.
But I stayed awake anyway.
Yeah. You've been home for 6 days and you miss her. I bet you do miss her very much. Do you get daily pictures or videos? Because that would be a necessity, I would think. They need to send you daily pictures and videos.
Oh, my daughter frustrates me. Send me pictures of the kids, and she'll send me 2 or 3 pictures.
I
Three
know,
months,
right?
3 months later, send me some pictures of the kids.
It's like you have 8,000 pictures on your phone. I know you do. And you send me two, and then it's 3 months and you send me another two. Like, send me every picture you take. I'm okay with that. It's like they think they're bothering you or something. This is like the best part of the day when I get a notification on my phone that says that the kid's mom has sent me pictures or videos of the kids. And she's like, well, they spent so much time there. I didn't think that, you'd really. I'm like, no, I want to know everything they do. She's been sending me pictures of them fishing. So that's fun.
Hmm.
They're learning how to fish. I haven't seen a video yet of them catching anything, but eventually they will, and I'll get to see it. So
Yeah, fishing with the kids is fun.
I don't enjoy fishing, so there's no way I could have taught them to fish. Or I know how to fish. My brother loved to fish, and so I spent a lot of time um, sitting there while he fished. But I've never really enjoyed fishing. I would take a book and I'd sit there and either suntan or listen to my Walkman and read or something. Fish were gross to me, but I didn't mind sitting there while he did it.
Fishing's not about catching fish. It's about sitting there quietly and enjoying the time and talking with the people you're with.
Well, see, for my brother, it was about catching fish.
Yeah.
He was like really into fishing. He had that nasty stuff and he put it in the refrigerator. I forget what it's called, but it's a bait of some kind and it stinks to high heaven.
Was
Some
it
kind of
carp?
blood
Was he
bait.
a carp? Was he a carp fisherman?
I'm not sure. I never listened well enough to know what he was fishing, but it was like this blood bait or something, and it would be in these styrofoam containers with lids on them. And
Yeah.
so I would go in the fridge at my grandparents looking for good leftovers from grandma's cooking and open one of those. I think it was even called stink bait.
Yeah.
And it, oh, you just open it up. It looked like mashed up blood, which wasn't the worst part of it. Because, like I said, the look of things doesn't really gross me out, but that smell would waft out of the fridge, and oh my god. And I'd say, why do you keep it in there? Well, you got to keep it refrigerated or it'll go bad. And I said, well, how the hell do you know when it's bad? It already smells awful.
Well, my ex-father-in-law used to do carp fishing for money,
Yeah.
and apparently they tag them or something at the carp lakes, and you get money if you catch one with a certain tag or whatever. But he used to make his own bait like that, and he put it in 5-gallon buckets. And uh, his son was telling me one of the buckets he made, he just left it under the house for a year. He said it
Oh,
was horrible, but they caught fish with it.
yeah. Yeah, my brother was into all that disgusting stuff and he didn't mind sticking his hands right in it. Nothing bothered him about it. He was always uh, on when he was fishing or anything like that. He was always filthy, and he didn't mind the filth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was bad, but I didn't mind going. A lot of times when he would fish, I would wander in the woods and look for mushrooms and stuff. So that was kind of a payoff sometimes. Um, but most of the times, yeah, I'd just sit there and read a book in the sun or something.
Yep.
A lot of them he threw back because it was the fun in catching them. But there would be some times when he'd bring home a bunch of fish and clean them and make me cook them and all that. I didn't mind doing it, but
Yeah, that's I don't know, 20, 30 years ago. I just started throwing them all back.
you're looking for jobs in Colorado, huh? I figured you might be.
Oh, I've got a
Well,
cousin.
if your daughter and son-in-law um, are going to work, I know a job for you. You could be the nanny, the live-in nanny, and raise that grandbaby there. Sounds like there might be an opening coming up if they go back to work. So this has been fun. I feel like I got out of my head a little bit, so that's good. It relaxed me a little because I was getting a little bit uh, crazy caught up in just my own little world.
Yeah, I've had a busy day.
What'd you do today? You don't have to give me personal stuff. You don't have
Oh
to tell
no.
me
Oh
anything.
well, I had to buy another box of Pokemon cards. I got
Yeah,
1,000 Pokemon cards. I sat there and counted stacks of them out and packaged them, and see, I
sell
did
a
that.
lot of those.
What's that?
You must sell a lot of those.
Oh, I sell a buttload of them, and I've got a bunch of the tins and all that, and I put some in those, and I sell those, and uh, yeah, I've just been busy cleaning dishes, cleaned out my toaster oven.
I have a bunch of stuff that needs cleaned. You feel like visiting Texas?
Nope, it's
Yeah,
hard.
I know you do, Evelyn. I
It's
know
hard
you.
enough,
Go
hard
ahead.
enough to get the gumption up to clean my own place.
Oh, I know. And when it's hot, like I've said, we have difficulties with our AC. We put in a new one and everything. So, I mean, we've done everything we can aside from getting new windows. Um, but our windows are the original ones from when the house was built in 1949.
Oh,
We've
where
done
they are.
pretty much everything we can do with them. So most of our air just goes to waste. But
The
it
old
only
sink.
keeps it 20 degrees cooler in the house. So if it's 100 degrees outside, it's 80 degrees in my house. And that's just too hot to cook or clean.
Do you run a dehumidifier?
Um, I'm not sure if I don't think that's what that is in my living room.
I've got a big dehumidifier. I dump out about a gallon of water every day,
Really.
and the humidity is what makes it feel warmer. I
I
mean,
think the thing I have in the living room is just a filter. I don't think it has a dehumidifier.
no, if it
'Cause
doesn't have a
I never empty it.
yeah, it's just the air filter then. But the dehumidifier will help too. So
Well,
you've got those old wooden windows with the single pane.
uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
need to
and
put
they're a
them.
little wavy looking.
Yeah, maybe some storm windows would work.
Well, I think the house had storm windows on it, but they've all kind of fallen into disrepair. They're all in
Yeah,
my shed right now. So,
well, and they don't always look that great with an older house either.
no. I wish I could, and I might be able to take out a loan to get the windows, but here's the thing. Um, I hate getting taken advantage of. And there's like no just local um, mom and pop owned or dad and son owned window places anymore. Everything's owned by a corporation now, down to
Yeah,
veterinarians, dentists, everything, window installers. So they're gonna take as much of your money as they can.
yes, they will.
So I can either put out the money in my home, leaking out all the air or I can be taken advantage of by some big corporation who bought up every single remodeling and window installer place around. And I'd rather just let my money go out the windows.
Well,
Then,
if you're capable, you could always go to Lowe's and order a few storm windows at a time and put them up yourself, unless you got 2 floors,
no, I don't have 2 floors.
single story. Yeah,
And I did have a person who helped me do stuff like that.
yeah,
He and I would go to Lowe's together and I'd pick out what I wanted. He'd tell me what my options were because he knew about this kind of stuff. And he'd tell me what my options were, show me, regarding sizes and what each different type is good for. And we used him when we had to put in a new bathroom floor. But the thing is that he was always really good to me. He gave me good prices. I'd pay for everything he needed to do the job, and whatever tools I had to buy for him to do the job, he got to keep the tools when the job was over. And so
Yeah.
that was kind of helping him get back on his feet too, because he had issues with addiction and things, and he was trying to get back on his feet. Well, I don't think things went very well for him, and it got to the point where he would ask to be paid before he could even start a job. He'd want some of the money up front, which isn't problematic in and of itself. A lot of people, if they're going to do a job, want some of the money up front just to know that, listen, you're serious. You're not just going to keep me hanging on the line because I can't, dedicate my time to you if you're not seriously going forward with this. So
Yeah.
I would give him like, you know, 50 or $100 before he'd start. And that'd be enough to help him with his gas to get here and stuff. But then it got to the point where he'd say, okay, I'm going to be over and start Monday. And he wouldn't show up Monday, but he had already been paid 50 or $100. And he'd have a reason why he couldn't come. His kids had to stay home from school and they were sick or something. And at first that was okay because I'm like, well, that happens. No big deal. And he had never done me wrong before. Well, the way it's ended up, though, is that I ended up paying him an awful lot before starting a job so that he could run and get things that he needed. I didn't go with him. There was a reason I couldn't go with him, and he's like, oh, it's okay. I'll just go pick up what I need. And so I gave him the money, and I've never seen him since. And it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
And in that 3 years, every couple months, he gets a hold of me. And he'll say, I need to make some money and all this, and I'll bring up the money that he already has been given, and then that's usually the end of the conversation. So I don't know if he's still getting messed up in the things that were making his life more difficult or not, but I'm not really interested in finding out either.
Yep. Can't help somebody that won't help themselves.
Yeah, and the sad thing about it is that he's very good at the things he does.
Yeah.
And he could have, with my help, building his tools back up, as partial compensation for him doing the work a little cheaper for me. He could have really, if he'd been serious about it, had a good business going by now in this 3 years.
Yeah.
That he's been avoiding me, but then coming back in and saying, okay, now I'm ready. Well, I'm not ready anymore. I'm not willing to invest in building your life back when, and it sounds cruel in some ways when I say it, but I'm not in a place where I can be a source of help.
It goes back to the old adage, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Right. And the thing that I guess bothers me most about it is that in a roundabout way, he's family. Like he's married to someone that Luke's related to, but his cousin. So I mean, it's not like he's like my brother-in-law or something. He's one of Luke's cousin's husbands. And so I felt like, we were helping Luke's family get back on their feet and all that kind of stuff. And it, like I said, if he would have kept on doing like he was doing, he was able to build up his tools again. And I even had a vehicle that I told him, once he got to a point where he needed to do other jobs and he could because he had tools, that we would talk about him having. And it never got that far because his life started going apparently back off track again.
Yep. It's difficult.
Right, Evelyn. And that's the same way I was. I paid fair wages. I know that in today's economy, it may not seem like it, but I always paid $10 an hour. And then over and above that, I also paid for all the materials that were needed. And like I said, I would let him keep the tools, any specialty tools that he needed once the job was done. And the idea behind that was that I didn't have a place to keep all these specialty tools anyway. And that if I ever needed him to do something else, he'd already have the tool.
I
But
do, my golly.
you do what?
I have places to keep all those tools.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I just went and bought a chainsaw. I think I told you that, didn't I?
No. Oh yeah, maybe. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I have a bunch of stuff in my yard that needs cut that has
Yeah.
just become really overgrown. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it after I've used it. So I'm thinking of maybe I'll offer it to my lawn man if he'll
Yeah.
agree to keep everything cut back the way that, that I finish it. Because that's not part of our agreement. He weed eats and he mows. We don't pay him to cut trees that overgrow or whatever.
Right.
So once I get them all cut, I may see if I give you this, chainsaw, will you make sure that these don't get overgrown like that again?
Yeah.
And see what he says about it. Because
Yeah, that's a fair
I don't
trade.
have anywhere to keep a chainsaw where it's not just going to get rusted out. And I don't have enough use for it where it's going to get used enough to keep it from rusting and just, collecting dust somewhere, dirt and dust.
Yeah, I have to force myself past the tool section at the Lowe's. I talk to myself, okay, you're not here to buy tools.
Oh, I love tools. My shed is full of tools, but they're full of tools that come in handy for me. Like, I've never been one to pass up a good deal on a shovel or a rake, or I have a machete. I have like screwdrivers and wrenches and things like that. But as far as specialty tools like chainsaws, lawnmowers, weed eaters, I'm not out there using those. I don't want to be out there using those. And so I don't keep those around here. I hire someone who can do that kind of stuff.
Now, do you keep the machete and the shovel in the trunk of the car just in case?
No, I'll get pulled over and they'll think I'm a killer. They'll be like, "Where's the body?"
I've thought about wrapping up my trash in the shape of a body because I go to the public dump. It's like a satellite dump where you throw things in dumpsters.
Yeah.
I've thought about taking some duct tape and wrapping up a couple of my trash bags in the shape of a body and tossing it in there.
I think you have too much time on your hands and you have too much white male privilege because you're looking for trouble, mister.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
You're just out there looking for it now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if there was a body in there or not. Just doing that would really cause a big stink.
I used to be big into kitchen gadgets, Evelyn, but you know what? I'm starting to feel about the kitchen like how I felt about doing yard work. Do I really want to keep doing it? Not really. I enjoy cooking, and that's the thing that kills me about it. I love to cook, and I'm pretty good at it. I'm decent. I've gotten to the point where I absolutely hate cleaning up after cooking so much that it ruins cooking for me. I wish I could get Luke to be really gung ho about eating good food, so much so that he's like, "Yeah, if you'll just cook it, I'll clean up afterwards." That would be the perfect arrangement.
Oh,
But Luke's not a big foodie. He's a very picky eater. So he's just as happy with a frozen pizza as he is with if I go in there and, cook a rack of ribs. Which I think is just sad. Who wants a frozen pizza when I could cook you a rack of ribs? But he doesn't want to clean up either. See, he's like, "Yeah, but then I got to scrub the pan and I line it with aluminum foil and everything, but still."
Oh, I got a nice pizza cutter at the flea market the other day. It's not the wheel; it's the big handle thing.
The
with
rocker
blade.
one?
Yeah, with the blade on the
Oh,
bottom.
I love the rocker ones. Yes. When
Uh,
I worked in a pizza place, I got spoiled using those.
Yeah, I was in the when I was doing my dishes, I was cleaning it up real good and scrubbing it with steel wool.
Hmm.
It's very sharp.
Yes, those will change your life
Yes, I
because
almost lost
it
a
makes
finger.
pizza cutting so cool. But also, if you ever get your fingers under there, you're going to change your life that way.
Yeah, yeah, I got a little gouge in my hand when I was cleaning it.
Yeah, be very careful. But they are life changing gadgets.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess nobody else is coming up.
I don't guess so. They don't want to talk to us. They
95.
don't like us. You just ruined it, Conklin. They
What'd I
just
do?
they just don't like us.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
I've got to blame it on you. I'm like those MGTOW men.
oh,
All
well,
my
I mean,
problems are your fault.
I didn't use deodorant. I did not use any deodorant today, so then maybe that's
See?
it.
And I bet you put your underwear on backwards too, didn't you?
No, inside out. This is the third day.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I feel so much better. I feel like I just needed to communicate with people. And I've missed all the good lives. Are you going to go live tomorrow and show us your new glass?
Yeah, I think I will tomorrow afternoon, sometime after 12.
All right. I should be up after 12.
Okay, okay.
So I
All
should.
right. Well,
Everyone,
all
if you haven't subscribed to RC here, he does show and tells for us when he gets new items in for his flea market. So make sure you subscribe to him. And when he goes live and he shows off all the cool things he got, it's a way of shopping without spending any money because we can pretend like, we got it, but really we don't get it.
yeah, I got to quit keeping stuff.
That's one thing I was going to talk about tonight, Evelyn, but Conklin came up here and he got me on different things. So that's good. He did me a favor because I was going to go on and on about the World Cup thing and what happened with that and why we lost or why I believe we lost. And it's because, true athletes, they don't like that shit. They win because there's a hunger in them. And anytime you put an asterisk behind a possible win, where this may not have been legitimate, you ruin it. You run the game for him. Why does he have to ruin everything? Why can't he stay the heck out of stuff?
Everything he touches turns to food.
I know he should have just stayed out of it. But yeah, it's just I was going to go on a big rant about that. He wouldn't know about the heart of a true athlete, though, and that a win that in any way has the stink of cheating on it is not a win to a true athlete.
Yeah, they should all just took a knee and refused to play after all that.
Exactly.
I heard
And
a little bit.
going into the game, they would have had that hunger that they were fighting for justice. If they felt like he really shouldn't have been banned from the next game, the American team would have had that hunger in them, right? Well, we're going to show them that we are more than just this man, and we're still going to go out there and play our hearts out. Win or lose, they would have come off that field feeling like they had accomplished something. But I think when someone steps in and said, no, we're going to make it so that you have to play this man against, the rules of the game or whatever, what that actually said to everyone else on that team is we don't think you're good enough without him to win. So they took the possibility that these men were going into it hungry for some sort of justice and to prove themselves away from them. And even if they had won, it wouldn't have been a win. So they were fucked either way. He should have kept his nose out of it. Just like when he ruined the basketball game for all the, decades long Knicks fans by showing up and screwing up their after parties and screwing up, their viewing parties and all the things. He just needs to stay the hell out of it. Politics is not supposed to be in sports. And this is, I'm sorry, I'm going off. I'm sorry. But this is why it makes me so mad when he starts talking about trans people being in sports. Well, you might believe one way or another, but it shouldn't be a political decision. The sports associations are more than capable of handling what they can decide to do or not do about that. Why the hell do we need the president being involved in that? We don't. They're sports. They're there for people, not for politics. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest.
Did you see? I saw a post that Hunter Biden had elected him or nominated him for Nobel Peace Prize for 38 ceasefires with Iran.
Hunter Biden has been on a tear lately.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of enjoying it, because they did him dirty. I mean, did he do shady shit? Probably. But you know what? You get up in Congress and you show naked pictures of a man. That's just vindictive. And in whose mind is that okay?
Yeah.
Exactly, Evelyn. And that's my thoughts on it. The sports associations, the people who run the sports associations, they are fully capable of dealing with any decisions that need to be made. And our government should not be involved in any way at all. Sports is a recreation, and they all complain that they want such exactly small government. They don't want the government involved in everything. Look at them cutting all these legitimate departments and cutting the people out of them for waste and fraud. But you don't consider that it's wasteful to be involved in making decisions over sports? I think that's wasteful. And I think he really did a disservice to the team. They had the opportunity to go into it as the underdogs on that decision and fight their hearts out and either way be proud of the game they played. And he took that away from them for his own selfish misunderstanding of the way the hearts of true athletes work, because true athletes never depend on someone coming along and putting the ball in for them at the end like Trump does. Because that a win by cheating is not a win. So, but he doesn't care. As long as it appears that he won, that's all that matters to him.
Well, speaking of being hungry, I think I'm going to go make a baby pizza.
All right. Well,
No.
When I talked about frozen pizza, that got your
It did.
juices flowing, huh?
I want to test out my new cutter.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Let us know how it works tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing your new glass.
Okay. Well, I've enjoyed our chat.
Me too. Thank you for coming up.
Okay. And you have a good rest of the night. And I'll be out in the chat, I guess, for a little bit.
Okay. You too, buddy. Take care.
Out here. See ya.
Speaking of, I heard that now that Doge has expired, HHS is looking higher, 12,000. Right. Yeah, because there's a ton of work now that's behind. So, how did that save us any money? It didn't. It just made people suffer who needed, assistance from those programs and stuff. And I think that was the point. Just make people suffer. The people who are already struggling. Right, Kathy. Imagine the storytelling if they had won as the underdogs. Even if they hadn't won the whole thing, that tells a great story and they could have been proud of it. But he takes away anyone's opportunity to feel any pride in what they've done. Because I'll tell you what, not just athletes, but even, business people or whatever, when they get to tell a story they can be proud of, it matters. And if you have to put an asterisk behind anything anyone accomplishes, there's never that pride. And that's so, he just takes that away from all of us. I don't like it. Yes, cruelty was the point. Yeah, the next president is, and I don't know. I don't even think the next president will get through everything unless they just go in there and and just, use his tactic. Do whatever they want, pay the consequences for it later. Just start undoing everything without any kind of uh, um, legislative decision making process. They'll just have to, well, like I said, do like he did. Just start undoing everything, and to hell with the consequences. You'll pay for those when they come around, I guess. I hope we can rebuild something better than what we had. I really do. I look forward to that day. Yeah, I hope that's not the way it happens either. But I think that's the only way they would get through all the damage he's done. And I hope it doesn't. I think it's going to take what, 3 presidencies probably to undo everything he's done. Um, yeah, like the next 2 decades or so. All right, well, I've been talking too long. I already had a scratchy throat when I got up here, and I'm drying out. I need to go get something to drink. I think I'm going to drink some Gatorade Zero or something and get me some electrolytes. And I hope that I catch the lives as they happen. I'm going to try and catch Conklins tomorrow. And Jeff, you need to get on the ball here. You've been going live purposefully when you know I'm sleeping, and I'm not going to put up with it that much longer. Right, Evelyn. So right. Thank you. I didn't feel bad until they told me that I should be feeling bad. So good night, everyone. Thank you for coming by. I've missed y'all. I enjoyed having conversation. I feel much better. I don't feel quite as wily and skittish as I felt when I first got on here. I was just kind of a little restless and crazy feeling. So, all right. Good night. Love you. Remember, you are important. You matter, and you are loved. And I love you. And I hope to see y'all again soon. Have a good night.